Welcome, dear viewer, to Twisted Nightmare Studio. Today I'm going to give you my quick take on God of War Ragnarok. This game has been a roller coaster for me. While I will eventually do a full Twisted take, I have to play through it at least one more time, if not two, to do all the side quests before I do a full take. This was just a playthrough that took me less than 21 hours to beat, and what a ride it was. Now, first and foremost, there is going to be one thing I am going to spoil, so if you aren't big on any type of spoilers, run now and come back after you've played about 5 hours. Okay, ready? You don't just play as Kratos in this game. This actually isn't Kratos' story at all. It is very much Atreus' story, and Loki's story. Sometimes you actually go off as Atreus without Kratos. I'm not going to spoil it, but you have a host of other characters that travel with you throughout the game. Again, no spoilers, but the fact that they let you play as Atreus and gave him a full moveset that was similar enough to feel familiar, but different enough to make a difference. Atreus feels quick and agile. His blows don't hit hard, but he swings fast and often. Kratos feels much slower and more powerful in comparison. Some of the emotions in this game really hit home. There were times when I wanted to absolutely squeal with delight, and there were other times when I was in danger of shedding tears. Again, no spoilers, because if you have played God of War 2018 and want more, you're gonna get it. But if you feel like 2018 God of War was a bit too much of a deviation from the originals, and it didn't have the variety of combat like the original games, you're going to be surprised this go-around. This feels very much like a meshing of old God of War and the soft reboot. Oh, and if you remember the complaint about too many troll boss fights, yeah, the developers heard that complaint, and trust me, when you see it, you'll know it. You'll know exactly what their response was. This is a love letter with so many boss fights that I want to show you, but will not, because I will not spoil anything in this particular video. Don't worry, I'll show them in my Twisted Take. The performance by the returning cast are absolutely on point, and there are a great many additions to the roster of characters that I absolutely love. Though apparently somebody turned off the profanity filter because it seems like almost everyone in this game is dropping F-bombs. Mimir is turning into quite the potty mouth. I don't know why they changed so drastically. It isn't a complaint, but it was like watching Charles Xavier drop an F-bomb in Logan. That's fine, it's just not how the character was portrayed in the previous iteration. All the time with Mimir in the first game, and yet here he's gone full rated M. Brock isn't the only one. Gameplay at first is going to feel very familiar as Kratos. Most of your moves make a return, though you have many new skill trees to upgrade, and new abilities to unlock, as well as combo abilities combined with Atreus' arrows. This game is truly incredible. While I'm not one to give out grades, I'm going to say this. It's not a perfect masterpiece. Now, unfortunately, comes the part where I have to be completely honest. For anyone who is typing in the comments that I'm a PlayStation soy boy or fanboy or whatever, here's where you get the unbiased part. This game is a bit too pretentious. There's just too few many times where the game just lingers in silence on a character. I understand that you're having a character moment, and you're very proud of your facial animations, but come the on, get on with the story already. Take off all the long obnoxious pauses in scenes, and you might actually lose close to half an hour. Now I can't verify that in any way, and may be completely wrong, but it sure as hell felt like there was way too many times where it was just sniffing its own farts and enjoying it way too much. There are times when I felt the game dragged, and there are times when I was doing certain things I just got kind of bored doing. This is not to say that this is a boring game, but sometimes in the story it just seemed to lull for me and I wasn't really interested. There are only a few times I felt like that, and for the most part I was extremely invested in the story. There were more times than I can count that I probably deafened my poor pregnant wife by shouting out in surprise when something happened. Overall, it was a good game, but I feel that the first was definitely a much more tighter paced and grounded story. This game felt like God of War, the Oscar bait edition. I hate that it comes across so harsh. The performances were well done, but sometimes it just felt like they were a little too high on themselves and just let the moment linger way too long. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I think that it doesn't have the tight-paced story that 2018 had, but this one has way more story condensed into about the same amount of time. As I said before, this time the cast is quite a bit larger, and each of them has their own distinctive and likable personality. Even when I hated some of the characters, it was because they were supposed to be that way. Ultimately, I had a great time. I hope that they patch in a New Game Plus. It would be a bummer not to do 3 or 4 playthroughs as the same character and find everything and be a big buff boy like I used to be back in my original playthrough of God of War, before trying it out on Give Me God of War. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this quick take on God of War Ragnarok. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think of the video? Leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you next time on the Twisted Nightmare Studio.
Why did you come here? Alone? Do you seek death?
No more than you.
Then why? Why? What is it you will not tell me? I have tried to walk this path with you. We follow your every whim.
But you don't believe in any of it.
And still I follow. Because all that matters is that you are safe.
But that's not all that matters. Who's keeping you safe?